Okay, so we're finally making tinctures because I'm gonna do two. So this week is a lab class. Thank you so much for being patient while I'm figuring all of this out, like the best way to not only format like the classes, but record them, editing them, and everything. But I'm really excited with everything so far. And now we're going to get into, first I want to go over two of the herbs. Yeah, two of the herbs that we'll be using in the tincture making because I haven't gone over them yet. But the rest of them we went over in the first class. Plus, I don't know about y'all, but the end of March was intense for me. Like, I did not feel good. I was tired all the time, and I'm just now starting to feel like I'm getting my energy back. Honestly, since winter, I've been pretty tired, but I'm really feeling the momentum now. I'm seeing like the best way to do the classes is like, here's a bunch of information on herbs, like one class, and then the next one we get to do a fun lab. So that's what we're doing. So now I am going to talk about peppermint. So here are the active constituents, the therapeutic properties, and the name, Latin binomial name, the family, and all of that good stuff. Okay, and now I want to talk about, just touch a little bit on peppermint, and mostly in relation to its benefits with the stomach. I will go over peppermint again later for other health benefits, but I will briefly go over it in the next slides here. So now that we have gone over peppermint and skullcap, I am going to do a lab where I show you guys how to make tinctures. I'm going to make one tincture for upset stomach, and I'm going to make another one that is anti-anxiety, also helps with withdrawal, and even with insomnia. So here we go. Okay, now to make the tincture. As I mentioned, if you're going to make a tincture with just skullcap, it would be a ratio of 5 to 1. You always want to look up the ratios. So here we go. I am going to show you how to make a tincture, and today is what I'm choosing to make is skullcap mixed with lavender. It's going to be, I'm going to use it for if I'm having a panic attack or for a good night's rest. So to measure out, you can use a scale or you can use like tablespoons, and just make sure to figure out if you're using either one, you compare it to grams. So I have mine already dosed out here. Here's the skullcap, and then here's the lavender. So you just want to make sure that whatever container you're using is very clean and dry. So there's the skullcap. And then it's just a little bit less lavender that I went with. This is just for preference. Of not only flavor, but just a little more boost of relaxation. So you can see there. So you want it to be about 1 to 5 ratio. So 1 being the skullcap. I'm going to add a little bit more skullcap. And I know these are equal to a little bit more than a tablespoon. So you can see right there. So there we go. And then make sure you also weigh out what liquid you're going to use. You can use alcohol such as like 100 proof vodka, 80 proof vodka. Typically people use vodka, sometimes Everclear, or you can use apple cider vinegar, which is what I'm going to use in the next tincture. So you add it in there. And that is about 1 to 5 ratio. And then you want to cover it with parchment paper. It's a little bit bigger of a piece than I need, but this way it doesn't rust. I'm going to trim this off. And then you want to make a label of what it is. So, skullcap, lavender, and then write the date. And then attach that to your jar. Shake it up. And then you want to shake it every few days so that it gets completely submerged in the alcohol. And in about 3 to 4 weeks, it will be ready, and I will show you where you want to store this while the tincture is getting formed. You want to put it in a cupboard, usually down low, because it's colder down below. In here, I already have some garlic and honey that I am fermenting. Yeah, so that's all you got to do. And like I said, just make sure you shake it up every couple days so that it doesn't settle, and so that your tincture can be the best tincture it can be. Okay, Now I'm going to make a tincture for upset stomach issues, and everything else listed here. Okay, so ginger, dried ginger, and then peppermint. If you ever have an upset stomach and you have therapeutic grade peppermint, you can put 1 drop of it on your tongue and it will help a lot with heartburn, upset stomach. Okay. There's the peppermint, and then rosemary. Now, I'm using apple cider vinegar because it's also good for gut health. But apple cider vinegar, as I mentioned before, is this one that is typically used, the liquid that is typically used when making tinctures for children. Because you don't obviously want to give them alcohol. So a lot of tinctures that are made for children, most of them, I don't know what else they use, but I always use apple cider vinegar. That's what I was taught. But I'm just using it for the gut health one so that I can use this too. And will enjoy it. And it will get multiple benefits from this. So there's the apple cider vinegar. Ooh, almost forgot the parchment paper. Grab as much this time. Still a lot, but that's fine. Okay. Make sure it's really tight. And then label it. And remember, you want to put what it is for or what's in it. So I'm just going to write tummy tincture. And I know what's in this. If you feel like you might forget, then write out either on a separate piece of paper in like a notepad. Sorry, the lighting's not too great today. What it is, or write it on the jar. So I'm going to go put this in that cupboard with the other one. Get up again. And there we go. Oh, I didn't put the date, so I'll have to do that next. But I'll remember I made it the same day as this. Although it is recommended, always put the date. And lastly, I want to go over some things to keep in mind when you are making tinctures. And then I'm also going to add some stuff about making tinctures for your pets and for your children. well, that is it for this week. I am excited that I got to do a more hands-on video. I felt like that's why it was best to break up like the first class into a few parts because it was just a lot of information. So it's going to be alternating like this. I'm going to go over some herbs one class, and then we'll do some sort of lab on the next class. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to comment on this post. And or in the live streams, you can ask me any questions. As of right now, there is one person in the class, so we're just doing our one-on-one sessions. Live streams are going to be held off until there's at least 3 people. But yeah, so that's what's going on for now. Thank you for being patient. While I'm still figuring out like the best way to do these classes so that it's easy to understand as well as fun to learn. I am sending out the prints on Monday, or the print to you. You know who you are. And yeah, I will chat with you on our one-on-one soon. One-on-one. And then the next class, 2 weeks from today, will be going over some more herbs. And yeah. Anyway, I hope you all have a great week. Love you all.